Hey guys, before we get started, just want to tell you that we are doing our shows live. Two Kim's One Pod live. The first one is Thursday, November 16th in Chicago. So Chicagoland area, Indiana, Michigan, come on out. We love you guys. It's going to be at the Lincoln Lodge, the famed Lincoln Lodge, on November 16th. The tickets are up on their site, on our websites, Linktrees, etc. Go look for them. And also in December, a week after my birthday, we're going to be doing December 16th. Unji's going to fly to Los Angeles, and we will be doing a live show here in Los Angeles. We already sold 3 tickets. Get out there. We want more tickets bought. Bring your friends. Let's have a really fucking out of this world holiday extravaganza. How about that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And it'll be so fun. Unji will get to get out of the frozen Chicago to come here to balmy LA, and it'll be so cute and so fun. So come out to that. And yeah, let's get started with this show. Welcome to the pod. In today's episode, we talk about how I try to get in cool with some sexy, cool gays.
And I am moved by a bunch of sexy, cool gays in New York City.
That's right. And also find out in this episode if I made it from Old Town Chicago to Andersonville, Chicago during a very snowy, pure snow day, and how I ruined that for everyone.
I mean, if you've been here, it's one of the grosser stories Peter has told.
Bitch, get into it. Hi. Welcome back to Two Kim's One Pod. I'm one of your hosts, Peter Kim.
I am your other horse.
Other horse?
I'm my other horse, Unji Kim.
You are the only horse.
I'm the only horse in the race. Yeah.
I'm a host.
And
You're
I'm
the
a
horse of the show.
I'm a horse.
Yeah.
I'm pulling the cart.
Nay!
Hey.
All right. You're listening to the only podcast hosted by a human and a horse. Welcome back. Today is, let's see, what is it? October 11th. We're doing a double episode today, just so that you guys know. And when you see us in the videos and you're like, why are they wearing the same clothes back to back? That's the reason.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Not because we're lazy and we don't have clean clothes to wear.
Because these are my inside clothes. When I have like a week of inside clothes, and sometimes a month. It's the same.
Yeah, and you have to repeat.
I must. Yeah, I'm not washing them all the time. That's crazy.
No, and you're not buying new stuff. This economy.
In this economy, no.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so today's, like any other episode, we start out with a section called Rock Hard Tops and Soft Flaccid Bottoms. Yeah. All right, so my rock hard top this week, I'll keep it simple. I've been doing more shows, and LA is really stepping its performance pussy up.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, the shows have been litty. The audience has been lit. They've been really, I don't know, something's happening in LA where people are jonesing to come out to do shows or to watch shows. And I'm guessing it has a lot to do with the fact that we've been on strike and there's not a lot of prestige TV left to watch. Maybe Love Isn't Blind enough. There's too many garbage things to watch maybe. So maybe I think that's why people are coming out, because LA didn't feel like this. I did an improv show and it was packed on Saturday at 10:30. I was so surprised at Your Fucked Up Relationship.
Yeah. And
also me and Tien's show, Okay Wow, which we did on Tuesday night at 9:30, packed. So that's been a top for me. It's been very, very nice to experience that in LA. It's something that I have complained about a lot throughout this
historically
the tenure.
Historically, yes.
Yes. And something has changed, and maybe now that the strike's over, it'll go back to kind of, it being not as great of a comedy city, but right now it's doing great. So that's my top. My bottom. Okay, so I went to a birthday party, a 40th birthday party.
Okay.
Gay. Okay.
Being 40 is gay.
Being 40 is absolutely homosexual. I recommend not doing it if you can. But it was a homosexual party. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to a homosexual party in a long time.
What makes it homosexual?
I would say over 70% are gay men.
Okay.
And that's it. That makes it homosexual.
Because I was going to say, is it like, were there poppers around? Because if there were like 70% gay women, would it turn it back around to being straight? Like...
Probably with gay women, yeah. But with gay men, and we were promised and were delivered a silent disco.
Oh.
Which I had never been part of. I thought this was white woman witchery.
Uh-huh.
So I was I was a little like nervous, to be honest, to engage in a silent disco.
Yeah, we love to be surprised by something. I like
Have you
to be
ever done
proven
one?
wrong. A silent disco? No, no. I've been asked to go.
You've seen it in like Hulu or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it on television on my little laptop. I don't watch the television.
Exactly. I've seen it on the talks, the grams.
Uh-huh.
Now, when I saw it on social media, I always like sneered, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And been like, ugh, the caucasity of it all.
Yeah, for sure.
And I get there and no one is silent discoing. Like, it's all set up.
Sure.
But everyone's in their little groups, like smoking, talking shit, whatever, like being, and it was like, maybe there was like a total of 50 people there, but it was like disparate cliques.
Okay.
So there were gays that knew each other, gays that didn't know each other. There were some gays that were mixed with straights and queers.
Okay.
And not all homogenous homosexual. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It was like, yeah. So there were different cliques there, and it felt like almost prom, where like no one wants to be the first one on the dance floor.
For sure. Yeah. I've never been, so I'm guessing.
Let me tell you, I've never been either, because I've never felt cool or like brave enough to be that first bitch on the dance floor. But,
no, I've never been to a dance, but yes, that's what.
Oh, okay.
I'm always the first on a dance floor.
I'm sorry. I get invited a lot, and I never dance. But this time it was my good friend, and no one was dancing. So I was like, you know what? To me and my friends, I was like, let's fucking get out there and like be idiots.
Yes.
So we put on the thing, and there was 50 people there. 4 of us were silent discoing. And everyone in this big LA backyard is just staring at us.
Silently.
And they're just like, ugh. You know, and it's like, you know, when you think about like being judged at a party, how awful that feels. And then think about being judged at a party full of gay men.
Oh.
It was horrifying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, this is awful. I feel so stupid. And I was definitely one of the oldest, if not oldest, people there.
Okay.
So it was like the old fogey and his friends fucking putting on headphones and dancing around. And all, because it's silent, all you hear is us going...
The silence and then the heavy breathing.
We're getting into Beyonce, so you're like, no one hears the like, this a reminder. Like all you hear is just me and my like fat friend going.
The coughing.
Because we're all smoking joints. So it was absolutely embarrassing. And there were, let me tell you, there were hot teas at this. It felt like I was at like Bryan Singer's pool party.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
If you guys don't know who Bryan Singer is, he is a known harasser
and pedophile. Yeah,
you know, pedophile and director of X-Men. Anyway, so it really felt like that, like young, nubile, hot teas.
Okay,
where I was like, I don't think we should even talk, because like I tried to make one conversation with a hot gay couple.
Okay,
they were like, actually, they were a throuple, and you know how I feel about this. I'm very bigoted against poly, and it's I don't want to get into it.
We're not getting into it.
Anyway, so apparently they're a throuple, but it was like a guy who just broke up and was hanging out with a couple. So that's what happened.
Okay.
Oh no, divorced. And then now he's like, I want to date this couple. So they were there and they were like very cool. One of them was wearing like sparkly spandexy pants and you could see his entire
penis.
Nuts and berries.
Nuts and berries. Oh wow.
Yes.
That's a good granola. Okay.
Yeah. It was a kind bar, honey. And it was just very like, oh, you're the cool gays. And of course, me being me, I went up to them and they were talking about cheeses. And
he had nuts and berries and they were talking about cheeses. Okay. That's actually a full platter. Okay.
Specifically goat cheese.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, goat cheese. That's great for my intolerant stomach and whatever. And I was like making a joke about how like, I forgot what I said. Like a good thing there's no real cheese or like I would have ruined this party or whatever, you know, just like something like self-deprecating and like trying to get in there with my thing. And I like made a joke.
Rooted in reality. Yeah.
Hello, in truth and comedy, right? And truly, I made that like off whatever joke to like kind of like slip into the cool gay crowd. And sorry for those who are listening, but this is the look they gave me. Like, imagine you said what I said to me, and then this is what they look like. They were like,
devastating. Devastating.
Absolutely devastating. They were just like looked at me like, why are you doing that?
That up and down. Oh my God.
Why did you say that kind of comment?
Why make a fool of yourself, sir? To me.
Yeah. My full penis is visible through my pants. Don't you see?
I've been kind to you.
Why are you onslaughting me with this lame assery? Like, it was so apparent that I was not one of the cool gays. It was almost like it was laughable. Like how hard I was trying to be like, hey, what's up? Like, whatever.
Hello, fellow hot gays.
Yeah, fellow hot teens. Like, it was so random and whack that like, I was like, okay, yeah, this is why I don't go to parties. This is why. Because I don't feel great. Like, even if I'm like ill, everyone's lame here. It's like, I'm only doing that because I don't feel hot enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what it is. So whatever, that was my bottom.
Okay, that's great. I also will say that if you're ever at the bottom of a totem pole at a party, there's always a good sign. Like it's humbling. It's humbling.
Okay.
And two, it's a good reminder that you ain't shit. That you are not shit.
I don't need that reminder. That's every day of my goddamn life. What do you mean? Like, as if I'm like up on the clouds, on cloud 9, needed to be grounded. Bitch, I'm sub-basement. I'm rooted.
We're still at the gate. People have to deplane. We're grounded.
We're taxiing, honey. Yeah.
We stayed out past curfew. We are grounded, okay?
Honey, I'm on the tarmac.
Okay.
How did your week go?
My top was I was on the East Coast and I was in New Jersey for a wedding and
yes, that looked so cool.
It was really fun and because we were in New Jersey, I had like the only flight out the next day was really late because it was like $200 cheaper. And,
Newark?
Yeah,
where'd you fly out of?
Newark.
Oh God, the worst airport.
No, it was really nice.
It was good?
Yes.
It was?
They've like revamped it or whatever. It's really nice now. Honestly.
Oh, wow.
I was like, and also New Jersey is beautiful. Nobody talks about it.
The Garden State.
Absolutely. Very beautiful. So, and my friend Parker, when we were hanging out in the next morning, he was like, well, I'm going into the city to see a musical called Titanic in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Yeah, my friend was in that.
Yes. Okay, so very spur of the moment, he was like, I was like, can I go with you? And so I just, spur of the moment, just bought tickets. There were like 3 or 4 left, like still available for the matinee. We took the train into the city. It was super fun train ride. Like, and there were a couple of delays on the New Jersey Transit. Not a surprise, but we barely make it to the matinee at 3:00. We arrive literally 5 minutes before showtime. Peter, I did not stop smiling from the moment the first musical notes, the notes hit the air, just like a and then my smile went on my face and I never stopped. And my teeth were so dry. My teeth were so dry because I also didn't have, I forgot a toothbrush. So like they were really dry and stinky. So like you can imagine, like I was exhausted, very hungover, all the things, but it was so much fun. And it was so exciting to be inspired by art again and by comedy and just truly people performing at the top of their ability and like to be impressed, like genuinely bowled over by not only the joy within the cast, within the production itself, but by the groundswell of like community within the audience as well. It was a fucking delight. Like there's
it's also seeing a musical in New York City.
Honey,
that hits different.
It does.
It hits different than a touring sit-down show in Milwaukee or where the fuck you're seeing Lion King or whatever. Like, it hits different, bitch, when you're in New York City, the home of musical theater.
Oh, my God. It was just... And it was really inspiring because the comedy was there. All of it was so full of joy, right? Like the thing is, it was how often do you encounter something that is not only important, but full of joy? Like it was a level never. So it was so extremely rare. So it felt like I was meeting like an old friend that for the first time. Like it was,
wow.
It felt incredible, and it was so exciting. And also, by the way, I've never seen the movie Titanic. I've never seen the movie Titanic.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Why? You just missed a boat?
I just
literally,
and then the boat sank. So I have never seen it. Spoiler alert!
Wow.
But like I literally have, because you know when Titanic came out, a monoculture existed in culture still. Like a really wide breadth of monoculture existed in like at that point. So like, you know, and I was like busy being a hipster and like too good, holier than thou and pretentious. So I was like, whatever, I didn't need to go see it. I would rather go see something else. And then in the time in between, like Titanic has been so embedded into the culture. Like, why would I need to see it? I know everything that happens, all the main things, the handprint on the car, like paint me like one of your French girls. Like, you know, I get it. The Irish jigging, like, you know, I've seen it on TikTok. I get it. And so that one was exciting to finally see the movie. And I was surprised because I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing in the movie. So it was like that, that as well. But it was just... You
didn't get the reference. You just literally were like, oh, they do that in the movie?
Yes.
Like what? What was one thing you were like surprised about?
That the unsinkable Molly Brown was the one that saves her. Like in the boat. When she's when she's floating on top of the door, on the door, that like the person who comes to saves her is Kathy Bates or whatever, the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Oh, I didn't know that was in the movie.
Yes, it's a small detail. Yes, it's like a small part of the movie where the person who comes and saves her is that woman. So
okay.
Whatever.
I watched the movie and I still don't remember, so you don't need to watch it.
That's what I mean. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
So it was a phenomenal top. Like it was just to be excited by theater, to be excited by art again, and it's all happening in goddamn New York fucking city, you know?
Yeah, like, baby. Yes.
All of it was really great. My bottom, it actually mirrors your bottom last week. So I arrive when I was leaving Chicago for the East Coast. I arrive 45 minutes before my boarding. And unfortunately, I was taking United, and it was...
I hate United so much.
Truly.
I know all airlines suck, but United, of all of them, like, they've given up in the 90s.
You're on call.
Like,
you're on whatever.
You're on notice.
You're
bitch.
on notice. Because so the terminal it was in was like, I think literally, there were it was almost 2 hours long, the wait.
Wait, the security?
Security line. So I arrived 45 minutes before my boarding. I'm I would say 50 minutes. 50 minutes before boarding, I get into the line. I'm like fucked. I'm freaking out. I arrive and I'm freaking out.
Oh my God.
And
do you have TSA pre-check?
No, this is the problem. So I'm already freaking out. I have to. The reason why it's taking so long is because they're having a lot of people go through the dog sniffing thing. So you have to like walk a period of thing and have a dog go back and forth and smell you, I guess. And because of that, then after that, somehow I make it through security because I went through the bomb thing, like with literally 7 minutes before they close the gates, and I am far from my gate the second I get out.
Oh my God.
And I'm far because the gate was like 134 or something like that.
Oh my God.
So far. And Peter, when I tell you, I started running with a swiftness that I have not felt since I was 10 years old. I was doing the shuttle run. I was doing my best mile, like the best mile I've ever done was 7 minutes and 27 seconds. I remember it because it's a palindrome. And if you remember, anybody that was in elementary school with me remembers that day. I ran with a swiftness. I'm hitting people. I'm moving people outside. And also, by the way, I'm not great with like right and left. Like I can never remember what it is. Like I have to look and see like what is left and what is right. My brain like can't compute. So I can't tell people like up on your left or up on your right. I just keep screaming, I'm behind you. I'm behind you. And then people turn around and I just barrel through them. And I'm sprinting. Because I have 5 minutes now. 5 minutes before.
Tell me your luggage situation, because I have traveled with you before.
Yes.
Do you have a rollie and then that stupid ass fucking tote that keeps falling off the damn rollie? Are you doing that?
No, I'm there for 24 hours. So I'm just carrying an overnight bag. So
thank God.
Yes. Okay. So I have this and I'm sprinting. But you know me and my lotion situation. This bag is not light. So I'm sprinting and I'm going and I'm finally like, where the moving walkway is? I'm booking it. I am literally hitting children in the head. I am moving and people are like, I'm screaming at service people, people who are serving in the military. Like I am hitting everybody as I barrel through and I'm booking it. And past the moving walkway in O'Hare, there's the escalators, right? And I'm going and I'm just running. And as I go up the escalators and past the first group of people, someone says out loud, wow, she's really in a hurry. And at that point, as I'm running up the escalators, my legs give out. Like I could feel the lactic acid
on the escalator.
On the escalator after that bitch said,
God.
She's in a hurry. She's really booking it." And at that moment, the lactic acid in my legs are like it's just too much, and like my knees almost like buckle, and like
God.
And the second she says that, then I'm just my legs won't work anymore, and I'm on the escalator. And
you stopped.
I stopped. Like literally, my knees buckle, and
oh my God.
And then I start to literally like claw. If legs could claw, I claw my way up the escalator, like my hands on my thighs, like being like pushing on my legs to get to
hands
the thing.
On my thigh shit. Yeah.
And then absolutely like just get to the top, and I can't walk. I can't run anymore. I'm out of juice. I'm done.
Okay.
Like all the smoking, all my lifestyle has caught up to me. I guess that's the limit. I can run high speed for about 5 minutes. And
makes sense.
Yeah. It's actually impressive I got that far. So I start to softly walk towards the gate, gingerly, because I'm in pain. Mm-hmm. Thank God a Japanese family was holding up the line because they had a stroller issue. Because when I roll up to the gate,
God.
It is 2 minutes past they are supposed to close the thing. And
you would have missed it.
I absolutely. And as Koreans, the gratitude I have for this Japanese family is doing
it's rare,
stuff.
Folks.
It's rare. And it's doing
rare.
stuff. It's doing stuff for world unity. And it was like one of those moments where like I'm crawling up to the gate and I'm expecting it to be closed, and thank God they were there, and I managed to get in and sit down.
Wow.
I was that it was truly because of this family holding up an opening because they were there. They couldn't close it because they were trying to deal with the stroller issue.
And were they speaking in Japanese? That's how you knew?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't just like looking at their face.
And then
that's an honest question.
And the gate agent
That's an honest question. Sometimes bitches be looking Japanese.
No, it was.
You can tell.
Okay, I will say this.
Okay, this is not for white people. It's for us. Like, you can fucking tell someone's Japanese. Like, I'm not saying that's not a racist thing. That's observational.
Okay, let me say this. I 100% thought that when I got up to the gate, and then it was confirmed by the language.
By the language. Okay, good. That's all I'm saying. I'm not... I'm not saying anything problematic.
Because they weren't Japanese Americans. They were like Japanese, so there was a language barrier, so that also helped hold up the thing and the stroller issue. Like, thank God
for fobs, bitch.
Truly,
this is why we need fobs. You can't be like fucking all perfect English going through the doors. No. How won't you make it? I'm
glad
that this Japanese family helped a dirty ass dog Korean like us.
It turns out this is kind of a top.
This is a top. This is like, you can forgive Comfort Woman for this. Like, you really. JK.
So that was my bottom. It was mostly the embarrassment of someone pointing out, wow, she's in a hurry. And that being the moment my legs are like, and it's done. Done.
Yeah. It's almost because she spoke it. Like, if she hadn't said anything, you would have had the energy to go. But I think your brain being called out for, quote, running is what I think shut down your body. Manically shuffling, others would say. But
kind of looking like a silent disco, actually.
Yeah.
So that was my... Oh, wait, Peter.
What?
Wait. There's someone's at the door.
Who is it?
It's our next segment.
Drama llama ding dong.
So my trauma this week is I've been remembering. So I don't know if I've told you this, but so I've been talking to a couple of like female comics and stuff about DMs they receive, and a lot of them like receive like dick pics or like various like solicitations in their DMs, especially if they like go any sort of viral or whatever. And they were telling me about it, and I was kind of like, wow, I've never received them. The only people that never. The only people that DM me are 100% like Jewish dads wishing me a good Shabbos. Like, truly, like that is the only unsolicited DM I am ever receiving. And whenever I tell like female comics this, their reaction is always like, oh, it's not because you're not hot. They're always like, no, it's okay. It's probably because they think that because you're married, I was just like, it's just funny that they're like trying to be like, it doesn't mean that you're not hot. I'm like, I don't fucking...
It's okay. You're hot.
You're hot. Like, I'm like, I don't fucking care. There's no part of my brain where I was like, because I receive a dick pic, I see it as flattery. And, but it's like this like obsession. It's this obsession, I think, that is built into most women of a certain age where like the male gaze is incredibly important. And like a part and like a deeply embedded part of how they see themselves sexually or being beautiful. And it reminded me of my own like relationship with that. So and there's two short things. So like the only times when I was a young person that I received like male attention are these, okay? And they're fucked. These are fucked. Okay, so the first one is I got a scholarship to an orchestra camp, and I played the cello, and in the entire cello section there were two boys, and one of them was last chair, and he was the only one that was kind of cool, and so I'll never forget. I remember very little about the rest of this orchestra camp. This is the thing I remember though, and he was bad, but he was sort of cool, and like because he was one of two boys in the section, like. Everyone was like, because of this male attention gaze thing.
Right.
And I'll never forget, he made the entire cello section stand around him in a circle. during a break, and he took a metronome that had so it's like a metronome. If you guys don't know, it like keeps the rhythm of like a thing, so it helps you figure out how to play a piece of music. So it goes click, 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 based on like how fast you want the metronome to go. And at the end of the metronome, there was an A440 tone, which is an A to tune your instrument. So it goes click, 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 click. And if you keep turning the knob, it goes to beep for the A440. So he took the metronome and called it the ugly meter. And he took it and took the click, 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 and just went around in a circle. Click, 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 click. And it kept increasing it until he got to a girl that he thought was ugly. And it would turn on the A440 and go click, 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 beep.
Oh my God.
And we all stood around and let this bad cello player call us ugly.
Ugly. Oh my God. What the fuck?
What the fuck? And also, by the way, this is an orchestra camp, okay?
Everyone's ugly.
Everyone's ugly. Like, it's a bunch of bitches who are taking cello seriously. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That tone was going off all the time.
And like, I just remember truly, and the thing is, like, I thankfully was spared the ugly meter, and I just remember being so relieved, and I 100% think I would have gotten it. The break ended a little early, so he only deemed like 2 or 3 people ugly.
Oh my God. Do you still keep in touch with the girls who were deemed ugly?
They were my best friends. No. I don't remember. This is what's fucked up. I don't remember anyone. I don't remember anybody. I remember this guy and a couple of like the really good players. Okay.
Oh my God. How old were you?
12. Literally the most vulnerable time. The most vulnerable time.
God. The worst time to be deemed ugly.
Yes. Like pivotal, crucial moments. So there's that, right? And the second one is my first job in high school was at like a call center with felons. I don't know what was happening, but it was literally like...
What? What do you mean?
That's what I mean. Like, it was literally 3 or 4 high school girls that were 100% like 15 to 16 years old. First job I ever had. And then after that was everyone else was a felon. Like, there were men that were in halfway houses, like that were like they got to do work release, but they were all were in jail.
And you guys are all hanging out the same place?
The same phone
taking
bank.
Marketing calls?
Making marketing calls.
Okay.
Making the same scam phone calls and psycho. And again, why this was being allowed, the 90s were wild.
Yeah,
the 90s were wild.
Truly.
The 90s were fucking wild.
Lawless.
So, and like, you know, my mom doesn't know. She's just like, oh, I got this job. And, you know, you call in like a newspaper ad and you go. I mean, like you've done phone banking stuff before, right? So I go and like whatever people are during smoke breaks, this older felon who I think was in jail for like disorderlies and like he was an addict and a couple of assault charges. Okay. So this older man, what he did is he made all of the girls that worked there stand in a line, and he told each of us something that he found attractive about us.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay.
it's the flip of bad cello guy.
This is what I mean. So, but it's all about like how this unworthy man sees us, right?
Yes. And the girls are standing around voluntarily to receive said judgment.
This is what's fucked up. This is the part that is like gives me chills. Okay, so we all just stood there, and he went down the line and was like, "You have good legs. You have this good breasts. You have a good skin. You have this." And he gets to me, and he's kind of like, he kind of takes a beat, and he looks me up and down, and he goes, "You've got good teeth." And let me tell you, That compliment has really brought me some light in dark times. Like, that's the reason why I smile this way.
For the felon.
It's just like, I was just remembering this stuff, and it's like truly like pivotal, integral, like foundational shit about my self-image, foundational stuff. Anyways.
And it made you feel so good. Did you feel so good when he said that? Or were you wishing, like, I wish he said my legs?
I think at the time.
Why isn't he looking at my tits?
Or my face or anything? Because some people were like, just beautiful.
He was looking at your face.
Well, he called some people beautiful.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, touche. But
yeah.
But I will say, initially I was like, oh God, that's all I've got going for me. But in the years since, it's really brought me some comfort. But what's
incredible.
But what's fucked up is that we all just stood there and allowed this to happen. Like we were like,
yeah. That is such a. It's so sad to hear that these young women had to be subjected to the opinions of someone so unworthy.
Oh, I mean, like, that's
and
what's
I
crazy.
feel like that's just a metaphor for like our world. Like, and I've said this before about how straight women will fuck anyone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, as far as like men go, like straight women really will fuck the dregs of men, whereas like gays, I feel like we're a little, we still have a little more, like we're still shallow.
Absolutely.
So like. It's about like the dick has to be good, or like he's hot, or he's fit, or whatever. Like straight women don't even feel shallow to me. They're like, whatever, he could be a fat loser as long as he tells me my teeth are nice. You know, like as long as he has an A440 tone, like I'm gonna let him fucking say anything to me.
Exactly, as long as their desire. And this is the thing. This is what's fucked up, is that subsequent to that. Like I truly, the opinions of straight men, like I don't respect men. I don't respect straight men at all. Like a straight man could give me a recommendation for a restaurant and I would have to look to his partner to make sure that's correct, because I do not trust the taste of straight men at all. And still, because of this trauma, I hold on to it in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, even though everything about me currently, everything about my life philosophy and foundational like POV of my worldview now, I do not respect. I was saying this to somebody. I was hanging out with like a bunch of comics after a show, and they were giving me some shit, and I was like, yeah, I don't care or respect men. I do not respect the opinions of straight men. And one of the guys mutters, because I just called him low T, and he was like, that's like my new insult, guys. Use
that's
it.
That's like faggot light. Like that's what you're saying. That's basically what you're saying. It's like if he was a gay man, you call him a bottom. You're bottom shaming him.
No. The low T is very specific to a kind of like hipster dude that like, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's just like I can't figure out, like it's just reads to me. It's like low T is a very specific thing about hipster boys where it's like get a grip. But I called him low T, and he was and I was saying how I don't respect men, and he just looked off into the distance, Peter, and he was like, I'm getting that.
Well,
and it's true. But
you do lead with it. You do lead with that.
But that's what I mean. It's like, I don't fucking care about the opinions of straight men, but still the trauma of this experience, the trauma
it's
of being
unavoidable.
I'm having gone through puberty in the late 90s, in the mid to late 90s. It was just a wild time. Like truly a wild time. If you think about like just all our media, I was remembering like all of the rom-coms and teen flicks of the era. It's like all about desire, being desired by a man, is being like straight men being foundational to your self-worth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all a bunch of shallow house.
Shallow.
All right. My trauma is, I'll keep it short. I have IBS issues, as you all know. And in Chicago, it was really bad because I used to drink a lot.
Yeah.
And I used to get like blackout drunk. Specifically during my Second City days, I would go across the street to the ale house and just shut it down till like 4 or 5 in the morning, drinking all night. So one of these nights, I was doing that, and I remember it was snowing, and it was hard to like get an Uber. Like Ubers were like canceling. It was like 3 in the morning, so like not a lot of Ubers out. And I finally got an Uber, and I got in, and we were heading up Clark with this like big street, street that goes north south, and I was going up north to where I live, and my stomach starts to rumble and gurgle, and my little butthole starts to like pucker, and I'm like, oh no,
a quivering bunghole.
Yes.
Okay.
It was, especially at that time of
night,
morning, because nothing's open for me to use, right? Like even like a 7-Eleven or something, like there's nothing around. And we were like going past like larger streets, and I'm going, I can't make it. There's no way I'm making it all the way up to Andersonville, which is like pretty north of the city. So I go, sir, I need to stop. And he goes, where? And I'm like, anywhere. And he goes, okay. And he turns the corner on Belmont. So I'm like in front of Belmont and Clark, right around where the Annoyance Theater and like
it's
all
a busy
that stuff
thoroughfare.
Busy, but nothing's open. And he's like, okay, are you sure? And it's like snowy, so I'm like, I'm fine. And I run out, and I feel like I have to go, and I'm like, fuck, Annoyance is closed, fucking Potbelly Sandwich is closed, or whatever, like all the like places, like Bagel Authority, everything is closed, right? So I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I run back into the alleyway. Thank God for Chicago alleyways. And I look around, and, there's no one around. And I'm like, I gotta go. So I pull my pants down. And I go behind a dumpster. And I just... and I throw all over the snow, the white snow.
The heat of it.
And you could see it steaming. Like, it's just like so bad. And the whole time I'm thinking, like, if anyone I know was walking by right now, like, my life would be ruined. Like, because it's like a very like busy area. If there was like any improviser or like a comic or someone like I was teaching, then a student walked by and saw their improv teacher just fully shitting in the snow in the alleyway with his khakis down to his ankles.
The khakis.
With my flat front Cheetos just hanging. And I remember thinking, like, because at that time I was at Second City, so I was like, I'm at the top of my game comedically. And I remember thinking, like, wow, something's wrong. Like, I should really be like celebrated, and like, like this should be like an enviable position I'm in. But I'm just squatting at 4 a.m. behind Belmont in a fucking alleyway, shitting behind a dumpster straight into the snow. But the snow did make for a good cleanup of the butt afterwards. So it's like a frozen bidet. Anyway.
Shut up.
Anyway, folks, it's that time for our final segment in which we introduce something we're absolutely obsessed with. Sit back and bitch, get into it. All right. My bitch get into it this week is a account that I follow. And Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, whatever. They're all over the place. And I follow them because they are, whenever I see them pop up, it's always like a warm feeling.
Ooh.
And I always stop and watch the video, even though they're all kind of pretty similar.
Yeah.
It's an account, you probably know it. It's called The Dodo. DODO. Do you know this?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. It's called The Dodo, like dodo bird.
Yeah.
And it's an account all about like, usually like well-meaning white ladies saving dogs from like being left on the street, or like a house burned down and the dogs are like fending for themselves on the side of a highway. It's always these type of like heart-wrenching like rescue of usually dogs, but sometimes it's other animals. Sometimes it's like, oh, this pit bull was really abused and now adopted and hates this cat or whatever, and they're like showing that, and then slowly you're seeing the evolution of this unlikely friendship between these two beasts.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's very that. It's heartwarming. If you're having a bad day, just search for the dodo, and it really will be like the world is right at a certain moment. So check out the dodo.
Oh, that's great. Do they like sometimes like wash and clean the dog?
Yes,
like
yes, and rehabilitate. Yes.
I love like
that.
I watch a lot of those, and of like whenever they make over like an unhoused person and like they shave them. Yeah, I love those. It's just like I love a makeover.
Oh, me too.
I love
an extreme makeover. Yes, exactly.
Just like it's because you know what? It's just a possibility. It like transfers over to
it's
you.
Hope.
Yeah, it's hope.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's hope. Absolutely.
It's hope.
That's great.
Yeah.
My get into it this week is an Ayurvedic practice that like I was influenced by.
Huh?
Yeah. Because you know
that sounds Indian.
Yes.
Is it Indian?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's like called oil pulling.
Oh, for your mouth?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done it?
I've done it once and I almost threw up. I almost fucking yacked. Like coconut oil, and I was like swishing it around your mouth.
Yes.
That thing?
Yes.
Ugh. I couldn't do it. You did it?
I did it. I've been doing it for this past week, and
oh my God,
it actually has fucked me up a little bit. Like, and that's how for me, I'm someone that like, if it feels bad, I'm like, oh, it's working. And so that's where I am with it right now. Like, it does make me feel bad. It's like made my face feel crazy.
You're not gagging?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's like I'm using this like specific called like Guru Nanda. It's like a brand of it, and then I'm tongue scraping and then brushing my teeth and flossing and then brushing my teeth. Let me tell you, like I'm seeing stuff coming out. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
Like what?
Like actual plaque,
like spinach and shit.
No, actual plaque and like weird like little like gray black like calcified things that are in my gums, and it's coming out.
From the oil. What kind of oil you're using again?
It's called Guru Nanda, I think is the brand name.
Okay.
We'll link it, but like it's, or I'll in whenever we clip this, but like, yeah, it was pretty immediate even after the first one. And so it did fuck me up. Like it, like my face felt crazy, and yeah, it definitely fucked me up. But I have noticed like not only my teeth feeling better, but my breath feels better. My mouth feels better. Like, it's wild.
Oh,
so I think if I'm gonna keep doing it and seeing, but from what I've felt in the first week, it's really wild. Peter,
I mean, it is the most attractive part of your body, according to that one man. So you got to keep it. Keep it shiny.
According to a felon convicted of multiple assaults.
It is your leading quality. So, all right, folks. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope you had fun with us. Please send this to your friends.
Please
review us. That helps us a lot. And remember to come out to our shows. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye. Bye.